Hi guys, so as we get closer to the May 2nd local elections, the knives are no doubt being sharpened for Rishi Sunak. But who would the plotters prefer to see replace him? Well, the latest news from Times Radio is that the former Home Secretary Priti Patel is topping their list. Patel is seen as perhaps someone less toxic than Suella Braverman and more competent than Kemi Badenoch. The ex-Home Secretary still commands a significant amount of respect from Conservative MPs and members, but can she help the Tories?
And those small vote figures, another record high, will not calm the Prime Minister's critics on the right of the Tory party. In the week, we've seen them plotting to install Priti Patel as leader after the election.
Yes, Priti Patel, the latest. We've, of course, seen Penny Mordaunt, the leader of the Commons, before that. And before that, they had been speaking warmly about Kemi Badenoch, of course, the business and trade secretary. I think fair to say May the 2nd remains a very big flashpoint for those plotters, that being the date, of course, of the local elections where the Conservatives are currently predicted to have a drubbing. So I think we'll have to watch carefully what they do then. Certainly small vote figures when you have people like Dominic Cummings arguing for a very strong offer on immigration. You have Rishi Sunak simultaneously still placing this front and centre of their pitch, both the Rwanda bill, which of course will be returning to Parliament for its latest ping-pong stage after recess, but also this wider question of small votes, which Rishi Sunak has sought, I think, separately, placing it as one of his key priorities to say, actually, we're making lots of progress in other areas. He's previously been saying they're down by a third, but people, very clearly looking at these figures and those records being surpassed, and I think on the Tory benches, some of them feeling quite difficult about it.
Yeah.
Just think about it for a moment. So the Conservatives, after the local election, decide we're going to replace Rishi Sunak with Priti Patel. Now, it may help them somewhat when it comes to Reform UK, because some supporters of Reform UK would be very happy to see Priti Patel in charge because they admire her and her very extreme position on immigration. But I keep saying this, and it doesn't seem to get through to Conservatives. The election is not going to be about immigration. The election will be on the issue of cost of living, the NHS, crumbling schools, public services. Those are the priorities of the British people, not immigration. So while replacing Rishi Sunak with Priti Patel or Suella Braverman or even Kemi Badenoch may help win back a few people who may be sitting on the fence and more inclined to vote for Reform UK, that's not going to help you deal with the Labour Party, because the Labour Party are filling that empty space in the centre. Keir Starmer is going to win over a lot of people on the centre who voted for Boris Johnson in 2016 or in 2019, and you're abandoning the centre and you're focusing on the right. You're focusing on the far right, and that's not enough to win the Tories a majority. It's not enough even to hold on to power. So this idea that it may seem good on paper, replace Rishi Sunak with Priti Patel. She was the former Home Secretary. She's quite popular with members of the right of the Conservative Party, both members and MPs, and she could win back a few people who are more inclined to vote for Reform UK. But this is very little, and it's not enough to hold on to power. And I don't think, and I keep saying this, I don't think the right wing, the plotters within the right wing, want to replace Rishi Sunak with one of their own. Because, as I said before, when the election comes round and the Tories lose, well, they're going to blame, the media will blame, and the Conservative Party will blame whoever's in charge at that time. So if it's a right-winger, then it's going to trash the right wing. So they would prefer, I think, to have a moderate in charge, or what they would consider a moderate, like Rishi Sunak or Penny Mordaunt, and then blame them for the failure and say, see, we lost because we weren't right-wing enough. We lost because we didn't focus enough on immigration. We lost because we weren't true Conservatives. That's what they want to avoid, if they're clever. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.